Breaking news, Ken Whisenhunt named Memphis Showboats head coach. So the United Football League has announced that Ken Whisenhunt as the new head coach of the Memphis Showboat. The league also announced that Jim Monos as the team's new general manager. We'll get to them in a second. Quote, we're thrilled to add both Ken and Jim to our UFL, to the UFL to lead the Memphis Showboats franchise, said Russ Brandon. Both men bring deep football credentials and pedigree to our league as we can continue to build our football ecosystem. Also said, we are very excited to welcome Ken Whisenhunt and Jim Monos to the UFL family. Executive Vice President of Football Operations, Daryl Moose Johnston, we were worried about, we haven't heard from him for a little bit. Jim was part of the New Orleans Saints personnel department when they won the Super Bowl, and Ken was the offensive coordinator with Pittsburgh when they won the Super Bowl. And as head coach was 35 seconds from leading the Arizona Cardinals to a championship over the Steelers in another Super Bowl. The Showboats have two foundational pieces in place as they prepare for UFL Season 2. Whisenhunt has an extensive coaching background, including 2 stints as head coach in the National Football League, that other league that people kind of talk about, and a Super Bowl championship as offensive coordinator with the Steelers. My wife will be happy about that. He says, quote, I'm truly excited about this opportunity. I have been watching these leagues over the past few years and amazed at how things have grown in advance. I'm looking forward to working with these young men. I know how important it is for them to have an opportunity to play professional football and have the possibility of getting to the NFL or back to the NFL. And then also I have known, he also included, I have known and respected Russ Brandon and Daryl Johnson for many years, he added, so I'm truly excited about the opportunity to work with them and be part of the United Football League. So Whisenhunt was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals for 6 seasons, 2007 to 2012, winning 2 NFC West championships, 2008 and 2009, and an NFC championship and berth in the Super Bowl following the, I don't know how to do all that, XLIII, whatever that one is, following the 2008 season. In addition, he served as head coach of the Tennessee Titans only for 2 years, 2014 to 2015. Whisenhunt earned a Super Bowl championship ring as offensive coordinator with the Steelers, who won Super Bowl XL. Following the 2006 season, he was on the Steelers staff for 6 seasons, beginning as a tight ends coach in 01 to 03 before promoted to offensive coordinator 01, and a role that he held until the 2006 season. Most recently, he was a special assistant to the head coach under Nick Saban at the University of Alabama in 23. Spent 2 seasons, 21 and 22, with Penn State University as an offensive analyst. Most recent stint in the NFL was offensive coordinator of the Chargers from 2016 to 2019 and served in that capacity for the Chargers in 2013. He's also coached for the Jets and the special teams in 2000, Cleveland Browns in 1999, Baltimore Ravens, my team, 1997 and 98 as tight ends. Whisenhunt also got his start in coaching with Vanderbilt University, where he coached special teams, tight ends, and H-backs in 95 and 96. Whisenhunt was an 8-year player in the NFL, playing tight end, H-back for the Falcons at 85 to 88, Washington 89-90, and the Jets 91 to 92. He played his collegiate football at Georgia Tech, was also a 2-time first-team All-ACC selection at tight end, and earned honorable mention All-American honors as a senior in 1984. New Showboats general manager Monos is no stranger to professional football with experience in NFL and spring leagues. Served as a senior director of football operations with the XFL in 2022 and 2023. He was a name that we heard about a lot, and he was on a podcast. A friend of his has a podcast, and they talked about it, and then he just kind of disappeared, and I wasn't even sure if he was still with the XFL or it was a short stint, but apparently he was there in 2022 and 2023. Also served director of player personnel for the San Diego Fleet of the Alliance of American Football, so he's familiar with spring leagues. Also served as director of player personnel for the Buffalo Bills. There's that connection. 2013 to 2017, among the players drafted by Monos during his time with the Bills were Sammy Watkins, Matt Molino, Deion Dawkins, and Tre'Davious White. He says, that's about it there. Earlier in his career, served as an area scout for the New Orleans Saints, where he earned a Super Bowl ring following the 2010 season. Served in the same role with the Eagles as well. there is where you have it. So Ken Whisenhunt was not a name out there. I'll give you the name that I had heard, that the league reached out to Jim Haslett, and he said no. I kind of teased that in a prior video. And then we were kind of hearing that they weren't going to kind of go maybe with, were they going to go with new guys, where they were going to go with veteran coaches. And you could see from this that clearly getting Ken Whisenhunt probably wasn't cheap either. So that was kind of surprising. You know, you have these guys that, you know, some of these guys that college coaches that we've kind of never heard of before, but Ken Whisenhunt is a name, and it's kind of a big name. Jim Monos, I mean, had a lot of time in the NFL, was part of the XFL already, so bringing him in isn't too big of a surprise. I've heard that he's kind of been underway for a while now. You've seen a lot of the showboats already making moves, that he was kind of already, there was somebody orchestrating that thing, and it was him. But Ken Whisenhunt is a big name, a guy that we've never really even talked about in the spring football realm. Um, you know, he doesn't have that Buffalo Bills connection that Jim Monos has, but clearly, I think this is a pretty big get for the Memphis Showboats. And I mean, an offensive guy. He is not a defensive guy; he's an offensive guy. And I mean, I think this is kind of a big name. Kudos to the UFL. It'd be interesting. You know, there weren't giving like new guy shots. You know, you had the Hines Ward, and then, you know, Terrell Buckley. I mean, you have guys even that they brought in. The coach that was going to take over for the doctor, and you guys are going to beat me up for what his name is. That was the defensive coordinator. There's other coordinator. I mean, was the defensive coordinator at the end for the Birmingham Stallions. Um, you had guys, you know, that were coaching as part of in the UFL, that were assistant coaches, like those guys. So they went with a name guy, Ken Whisenhunt. Now, I'll be curious of how he fills out his staff. Will be kind of the next thing, the shoe to drop, that we'll have to find out. But Ken Whisenhunt, Memphis Showboats, you show your boatman. What do you think of your new head coach? I actually am pretty excited about this, and I think this is a great get for the UFO. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to see what fans think of the hiring of Ken Whisenhunt to the Memphis Showboats.